Hi everyone! Welcome back to my channel. Recently, I've been getting a lot of questions regarding the admission process or the scholarships or the life in Korea in general. I decided to bring these questions together, and also I asked my followers and my friends on Instagram what they would want to know before they come to Korea to study, or things that they wish they had known before they came to study in Korea. If you're not following me on Instagram, please make sure to do so. I'll put the link down below. So today I will be answering these questions, and I will be talking about the admission process, documents you need, and stuff like that shortly. So stay tuned until the end. So let's start with the questions first. I did not put them in a specific order. I'm just gonna try to answer the questions as in the order I received them. I also have my notes and my questions over here, so I might sometimes look at the questions or my notes, so please be aware of that. Let's start with the first question then. First question, do you think Yonsei's education is good or worthy of the university's ranking? For this question, I've just checked, and I think the university's ranking currently is around 251 or something, or 300. I'm not sure. It really changes according to the ranking system you refer to. I do think Yonsei's education is quite good. We do face administrative problems time to time. There were a lot of issues regarding how they forget to inform international students about certain things and how dates are always announced late. However, if we only take the education in consideration, then yes, I do think Yonsei's education is quite good, and I've made a good choice. The second question is, did you apply to other universities than Yonsei, and if yes, which ones? So if I tell my story from the beginning, when I graduated, actually before I graduated high school, I did apply to City University of Hong Kong, and I did get a scholarship based on my application. My application was sent with my predicted results from IB. For those who don't know how the system works, you get a predicted score, and then you actually take the exam. You get an actual score. You can get accepted with your predicted scores, but some universities require you to get the same scores that you've been predicted to get. In my case, I personally did not do a good job on my final exams, so I got a lower grade than my predicted results, and City University of Hong Kong took my scholarship back. I decided not to go there because it was pretty expensive for me. And then I graduated high school, and I was actually preparing for Turkish universities with the Turkish university entrance exam. However, since my dream was always to study abroad, I decided to try for Yonsei University, and I got accepted, and here I am in Yonsei UIC. So I did apply to City University of Hong Kong, but if you mean if I applied to any universities in Korea other than Yonsei, the answer is no. Third question, is there a university you wish you had attended instead of Yonsei? I do not have much information about how the other universities in Korea work. However, never thought, oh, I wish I attended that university instead of Yonsei. Maybe it's also because of my lack of information regarding those universities. However, I do think that Yonsei, especially Yonsei UIC, is a good place for international students to come, because at least if you are not fluent in Korean, or if you don't trust yourself to take Korean classes, then you know that you will have English courses available for you. So I guess I did not have any. Next question is, why did you choose to study in Korea or Yonsei? Well, I've been learning Korean since 2013 by myself. I've had my dream of studying abroad ever since I was little. I actually never thought of studying in Turkey. I did think of studying in Canada because I've been there a couple of times and my aunt lives there. Canada sounded like a good choice. However, the prices kind of intimidated me. It's a bit too much if you don't have a scholarship, and I've heard that it's quite hard to get scholarship in places like Canada. Since I had my interest in Asia in general, and since I kind of failed on my plan on going to Hong Kong, which I don't regret, and I'm not sad about it. I chose to study in Korea, try to at least apply to see if I get accepted or not, and thankfully I did, so I came to Yonsei. And the reason why I came to Yonsei in specific was because I really liked the campus, and I actually saw the university like jacket, and it looked really cool, and I was like, hey, I want to study there and get that jacket. My reasonings were really simple. However, I did do my research before that, and I knew that you guys provided English only education, so I decided, you know what, why not? So I just tried my chance and I just came here. So the next question is a bit harder. What is something you wish you had known before attending Yonsei? I don't know, actually. I guess I wish I'd known how slow they are with their administrative things. I don't know why, but everything we get, like every information we get from the school is always too late. The whole school announces things really late. When I got admitted, I got my email 3 days later than I was supposed to get it. So I was really sad about it because I thought I was rejected at first, and I cried a lot. And you know, even when I got my admission result, I couldn't be happy about it because I already cried a lot about it. So I was just like, oh yeah, cool, I got in. You know, things like that I wish I had known before so that I wouldn't have to stress about it too much. But even now I know it and I still do stress about it, so maybe that one. The next question, how much do you spend on food or other necessities in a week? I think this is an important question because this is one of the questions that I wasn't sure before I came to Korea, because I had no good information about the prices and how much I would need to spend. I would say that right now, because of COVID, the dormitory cafeteria is not open. There's only one cafeteria in the school campus that's open, and this information I'm talking about is solely based on the international campus, and I don't know about Shincheon campus, just to put it out there. Yeah, so we only have one cafeteria, and unfortunately I cannot eat every menu they serve there because of my food restrictions. I personally try to eat as cheap as possible because food in Korea is really expensive for me as a person who's getting their money from Turkish lira and converted to Korean won. I would say that one meal cost me around $8. So that's like 8,000 won. I usually eat around 2 meals per day. That's 16, 20, let's say 20,000 per day. And if I get a coffee, that's like 5,000, 25,000. And I eat 7 days a week, obviously. So I usually spend around minimum of 200,000. That's like $200. And if I buy some clothes, if I don't know, buy something else than food, then I would say I spend around 450,000 per month. That's a good, cheap lifestyle. So if you want to buy more things, or if you do eat more than 2 times a day, I sometimes eat once per day, then you will need more than that. I don't know what's the currency in your country, but in dollars, it would cost me around $450 to $500 per month. And if you have more questions about the prices, amount of money you will need to spend, you can always contact me for that. Please write me from my Instagram or write a comment down below, and I will make sure to answer with as much of details as I can. Yes, so there you go. Korea makes us poor. So next question is, how long are your average days? Let's say I wake up around 10 to 10:30, 11. I sleep around earliest 12, around 1:30, 2 a.m. So that's like 14, 15 hours maybe. if I'm not wrong. But I think it's really easy to sleep late when you're in a dormitory because your friends are awake, you want to do something, you don't want to sleep the day off. If you are an early sleeper, that might change. Okay, so the next question, can you stay at the dorms during summer or winter break, or do you have to move out? You can stay, yes, you need to pay for the amount of time you're gonna stay in. Usually around 750,000, maybe $750, I think, if I remember it correctly. And this is for 9 weeks of the whole vacation. So our vacations are usually 2 months. So you can stay during summer or winter, it doesn't matter. You just have to pay for it and you're done. So the next question is, where is the focus on in tests? I'm not sure what you mean by focus, but if I talk about the test in general, then I would say except for a few common curriculum, we call them CC courses, or science courses, we don't have much of a memorization courses. So usually it's based on essays or projects. Sometimes these projects are analytical based projects or creative projects. For me personally, since my major is a literature major, I write a lot of essays for my classes. Mostly my tests are just essays. But yeah, I mean, I think UIC has a lot of tests where you have to put some thought into it and you can't just copy off from what you learned. But I might be wrong because I don't know much about the other majors. So the next question, how are the teachers like at UIC? Well, I personally think the professors in general are pretty good. Obviously, I'm not going to name any, but I had some issues with some of the professors. I didn't really like the way they thought, like they were teaching. Some of them, I was kind of curious on how they were a professor at UIC with their lack of English or teaching style. I don't know how to explain it, but this is really personal. I think it really depends on the way you connect with the teacher, with the professor. Some of the professors, they seem really stern and, you know, mean, but once you get to know them, you really like them. Or some of the professors you think are very easy, but then you take the class and you're like, oh, this is really hard. So it really depends on what your strengths are. I would say in general, personally, I think the quality of the teachers are pretty good. So the next question is, what is the usual classes are like at UIC? Is it lectures, group works? Oh my god. What are the usual classes are like in UIC? Is it lectures, group works, etc.? So UIC tries to base their learning style more of an interactive, active learning style, I think. We do have a lot of courses where you have to have a group work, you have group projects, and you have group presentations. I think right now, due to COVID situation, since the classes are online, most of the classes, I think they are lectures, so you just learn and you just do some essays or you just do some projects by yourself. However, we do have a good amount of classes where you do group works. I think it's like, I wouldn't say it's half, but I would say that we do have a good amount of classes in both teaching styles. Next question, how do you like the teaching at Yonsei UIC? And I think I kind of answered that question, but I think it's okay. I do enjoy it. It's sometimes a bit tricky because you have to meet good group members. If you're in a group work, it's really a hit or miss. Some people, they don't do much, and some people expect you to do a lot of work instead. It just happens everywhere. I really like the teaching at UIC. It's really similar to what I've learned in IB, so I get a lot of help from that. But it's also quite challenging, and I guess it's because it's challenging, it kind of gives me the feeling that I'm improving. So the next question is, how are the tests graded at Yonsei? Before my entering class, which is 2019, I heard that people had relative grading, which means that based on how the others did, so even if you get 99, you could have gotten a B, because if everyone gets 100 and you get a 99, then that means you get a B. However, they changed the rules, thank God, I'm so happy about that. Now it's absolute grading, so they have this grading scale, and whatever you get, then you get the score that's equivalent to that grading, so that's how the tests are graded. And next question is, what are the exams like at Yonsei? I gave a lot of answers to this question before, especially for my major. We do a lot of essays, we do a lot of take-home exams, and some exams are fill-in-the-blanks kind of exams, and some are tests, so multiple choices. Some of them are projects, so you create a video and then you submit it, and some of them are kind of research proposals, research papers, discussion papers. There are a lot of kinds of exams, but my exams are usually essays, so that's what I know the best. Okay, so I have two more. One of them is, could you talk about the scholarship opportunities? Oh, my cat is here. Well, scholarships. I do get a lot of questions regarding the scholarships. This was also a question that I was very curious before I entered Yonsei. There are, I would say, 3 types of scholarships. First one is entrance scholarship, which is also called, I guess, admission scholarship. And this is given to you when you get admitted to the school based on a point system. So they gave you a point based on your papers, the documents you applied with, and then they give you another point with your interview, and then they kind of add these points, and then you have a total point. And with this total point, you get, I guess, ranked with the other students maybe, I'm not sure about that. These scholarships are given to you by the school when you first apply. They are applicable for all of the years you'll be studying in Yonsei. Right? The second type of scholarship is academic based. So when you are already in Yonsei and you're studying and you're a freshman, you're a sophomore, it doesn't matter. So you get a really good grades, and you have to have really good grades. There are unfortunately a lot of smart students out there, so even if you have a really good score, you have to be perfect to get the scholarship. Fighting. The third scholarship is need-based. They announce this at the end of every semester, and you cannot apply it before you get in. So after 1 semester of studying, that's when you can start applying to the scholarship. What's wrong? What's wrong, baby? This is a scholarship you have to apply each semester, and they can change the amount of money they give you each semester. Unfortunately, it's really dependent on how much they want to give you, so it's kind of tricky and risky. So the last thing, this is not a question, but like I said, I asked my followers and my friends the things they wish they had known before they came to Korea. And one of the answers I got, which was a bit sad, was how xenophobic they are. And xenophobia, for those who don't know, is the fear and hate against strangers. Yes, I would say that there's a lot of issues with xenophobia in Korea. If you're a foreigner, you're always a foreigner. So even if you are Korean, because your mom is Korean, your dad is some other country person, and you don't look like Korean, then you are not counted as Korean, unfortunately. However, personally, I've never experienced xenophobia towards myself, which I am really lucky, I think. But I know a lot of my friends have experienced this due to their skin color or due to their hair color, hairstyle. Korean people do not have the best reactions to foreigners. However, I don't think this is something to scare you from coming to Korea. You might or might not experience it. Really, I think, dependent on the people around you and just your luck, I guess. So this is not something to scare you off, but this is something good to know. Now, let's talk about some admission process. Well, I got a lot of questions and requests about this. Let's start off with important information. When is this application starting, right? For the fall semester, it starts around March and May. So there's a lot of time for that. I usually recommend people to apply for spring semesters because it's much easier to make Korean friends and you are more part of the general main student body. And this spring semester's applications are starting in July 30th. So it started July 30 and it continues on until September 30. You have around 2 months to apply, so please do not miss it if you really want to apply for Yonsei University. And this is only for UIC. I do not have much information about the actual main Yonsei, and UIC has specific majors, so make sure to check that out if you want to know if the major you're interested in is in UIC. And UIC is only English course-based education. So if you want to apply for UIC, you have 2 months to apply, and then you're gonna submit your documents until some amount of time. Then you will have your interview around November, and then you will get notified if you get in or not at the end of November. I will make sure to put the links about these information down below in the description box, so make sure to check it out. What do you need for application, right? You can also find all of these informations down in the link that I put below, so make sure to check it out before you ask me more. In this website, you're gonna see the application form, and you're gonna see the recommendation form and letter of consent. You will need to get all of your transcripts and graduate diploma in apostille. So you need to make sure to do that because they don't accept it if you do not do that. You can apply from just online application or common app if you want to do that. Both of them are the same amount of applying fee, I think. You will need also your parents and your ID card and passport, and you will need a birth certificate or legal documentation that verifies the relationship between your parents and yourself. If you are a Korean citizen or a foreigner with Korean parents, then you have a different application process, so make sure to check that out as well. When you pay, you're good to go. You also have supplementary documents you can apply, and I did for mine. I put my IB scores, and I also put my TOEFL score. I think if you have them, it's gonna make your application stronger, so I do recommend it to you. Also, I actually got this question before. What is important when you apply? The thing is, except for the general documents you put in, there are a lot of spaces for you to fill in when you have the application form, such as like outside of class activity, like certificates and things like that. Personally, what I did was I just put everything there. I put my football team, I put my cooking class certificate, I put my rescue team certificate. Even if you think that it's not significant for your major, or it's not something that is like very, I don't know, like very highly achieved, it's not important. Just put it out there. It's fine. Just put what you did for your school club, put what you did outside of class, put what you did for hobby, what you sold, where you worked for 2 days, where you worked for 2 hours. Like, it really does not matter. You just have to show the school that you want this school and you're ready for that. Like, you had things in your life that you tried to do. For those who did only school in their whole life, just tell them, like, because of COVID, I couldn't do much in my high school. That's why I wanted to go for Yonsei, and I want to achieve what I couldn't have done in my high school years in Yonsei in Korea. Just be honest about it. Just put everything out there. You won't lose anything. I'm pretty sure you will gain more than you lose. That's basically how you apply. It's not a complicated process at all. It takes a lot of documents, and I understand the struggle. I also struggled with mine. But if you have any questions, any concerns, please contact me. I will try to help as much as possible. And even if you want some information about the main Yonsei process, I can help you with that. So make sure to message me on Instagram or here in YouTube. Just put it down in the comments, and I will make sure to reply to your comments as soon as possible. Okay, so we had a lot of things to talk about today. Good luck with all of your admission. Yeah, I will be waiting for you in Korea, so see you in Korea. Bye!